Mario and Luigi is a Mario sub-series that I've always loved. Partners in Time was my first Mario and Luigi, and I am a firm believer that Superstar Saga, and especially Bowser's Inside Story, are whole contenders for top 10 Mario games of all time. But the series was also one of those that's gone through some really dense emotional turmoil. The developer of the series from day one was a second-party studio that collaborated with Nintendo called AlphaDream. They pretty much made every Mario and Luigi, but they were never bought or owned by Nintendo. They were always just a second-party studio that made pretty much this entire series. Besides some legwork for the Mario and Sonic Tokyo 2020 Olympics game, a franchise that expanded on Mario characters and the Mario world we know and love, but with a cartoony flair and charm of its own kind. This stylized Mario characters to look slightly simpler than their main series counterparts, but a bunch of odd and wacky new characters with varied designs, crazy stories, and a heavy amount of slapstick comedy and exaggerated animations accompanied by a strong, easy-to-follow, visually engaging and in-depth combat system. Another beloved spin-off series of Mario RPGs, similar to Paper Mario and Super Mario RPG, but very evidently in its own style, approach, tone, and consistency that it'd be kind of sacrilegious to call it the same as any of the other two, especially once you played all three of them side by side. But Mario & Luigi's future seemed tumultuous come 2019, when the same studio would file for bankruptcy, with no response or extra nuance on how these developers would survive, if Nintendo would pick up the pieces, or if Nintendo even had any interest to maintain Mario & Luigi as a series. It always performed at least slightly better than Paper Mario, but both were always significantly less popular series than most other Mario series games, mainline, kart, party, sports, Luigi's Mansion, etc. This coupled with old interviews on some Paper Mario games and how some staff pitched the idea that, oh, Mario & Luigi would be the sole Mario RPG series. We don't gotta make Paper Mario RPG. And yet that was stated before AlphaDream's bankruptcy. And we don't know the extent of that specific mindset, both how much Intelligent System staff really truly believed that sentiment, and whether or not it held a place far beyond Intelligent Systems and with the rest of Nintendo. I don't want to dive too deep into the weeds of Mario RPGs as a whole. That's going to be its own video over the coming days. But with the other RPGs in the Mario franchise, it didn't start looking good for most people. Mario RPG was a thing of the past. Paper Mario, since really Sticker Star, has just been doing its own thing, straying from series roots in favor of dramatic experimentation. And Mario & Luigi was the only tried and true Mario RPG series to really place any safe bet on. It didn't help that 2017 and 2019, the company banked on remakes of the most popular Mario & Luigi titles, and they put them out on a system that was very well, insanely overshadowed by the Switch. Especially in Bowser's Inside Story's case, having the original DS games still functional on a 3DS. But those last few remakes as the company's last contributions to the series made everyone question their headspace and resources all around. Paper Jam as well, prior back in 2015, early 2016, didn't see favorable reactions or receptions with how heavily watered down and sanitized its story, locations, and cast of characters were from your usual fare with Mario & Luigi. And despite I personally think it's still a good game, just significantly lesser than every other Mario & Luigi, this game was the start of the question of how viable or fresh Mario & Luigi was becoming in both formula and overall series. I mean, hell, Dream Team back in 2013. Fantastic Mario & Luigi, few shortcomings aside, everybody loved it, but even then, you could visibly tell it borrowed a lot of ideas from Bowser's Inside Story. Going inside Bowser, hey, let's make it the Dream World this time. Giant battle specific to Bowser, we're now specific to Luigi in the Dream World, and a whole set of new Bros attacks are discovered and used in the Dream World. A bunch of characters like Starlo, Brock Monsieur, and others from Bowser's Inside Story made a reappearance in the following game. Like, it's still a great Mario & Luigi. Don't get it twisted. But even before Paper Jam, fans wondered how much the series formula was getting stale. And that especially rang louder when every Mario & Luigi on 3DS, new or remake, reused all of Dream Team's assets and sprite work. It added new attacks and mechanics here and there with every installment, so it's not that big of a case of formula or series rot, but even in spite of that, it was still a dedicated, critical, and passionate darling of a Mario series to pretty much anyone who's played any Mario & Luigi. A lot of charisma, creativity, and sauce in really any installment. So it was a heavy blow to hear AlphaDream was gone during a time Mario RPGs were the fewest and farthest in between they've ever been. There was a period between, arguably 2017, more so 2019, and 2023, where there was a serious drought of new, proper Mario RPGs. So, it does speak really loudly when we got a remake of Super Mario RPG announced June 2023. The same creative, oddball, and unique Mario adventure in the form of a timeless, well-crafted RPG combat system was being brought back during an era where Mario was allowed to be creative and whimsical again, the RPGs withstanding the most creative limitations for a while. Amplified further with Thousand Year Door, the most creative and out there Paper Mario and Mario RPG as a whole in my opinion, getting remade. The template Paper Mario that any of modern Paper Mario was not allowed to be at all was also getting remade, and was announced in the same year as RPG, just 3 months apart. Again, not too much to talk about all three of these series, and then some as far as the status of Mario RPGs. Stay tuned for a separate video talking about all that. But I know some people feel, oh, they're remaking 20-plus-year-old games. That doesn't really count towards Mario games, counting as those innovative, charming, and wacky Mario games as a whole this generation, which, sure, they're not new, but in my opinion, I seriously don't think that matters at all. RPG, and especially Thousand Year Door, cream of the crop, primest examples and direct references from Nintendo/Mario RPG staffs themselves to modern Mario releases not allowed to replicate any of what those games did. The RPG mechanics and the combat, the weird and wacky characters, the settings, innovative stories and all of that, that's precisely what RPG and Thousand Year Door are. They were unrestricted and liberally free Mario adventures, able to stretch the boundaries of what kind of adventure and what kind of characters, premises, and settings overall could be in a Mario game. We have multiple other Mario games filling that case with Wonder, Odyssey, Peach Showtime, and a couple others, but RPG and Thousand Year Door completely add to that pile just as much as those other games. Mario cannot be anything like Thousand Year Door, RPG, Odyssey, Wonder, etc. at all during most of the 2010s. That is an undeniable fact. So all this likely going to be repeated in that future Mario RPGs video. The comeback of these two particular games was all fine and dandy, but something had to happen for Mario and Luigi, right? Nothing since AlphaDream's bankruptcy. The last entry was 2019 with the Bowser's Inside Story remake, 5 years since any Mario and Luigi title, and the last new installment was Paper Jam in 2015. Almost a whole decade of every other Mario series that people care about getting new games, and nothing for Mario and Luigi. So even if we don't count the remakes, because they're remakes, let's just say for argument's sake, it'd be a different story if them or Mario and Luigi got a brand new game. And then the following direct after the one where Thousand Year Door gets announced is one 9 months later where Nintendo cold opens a direct with not just a Mario and Luigi title, but a brand new installment in the series called Mario and Luigi Brothership. I wasn't even expecting a new Mario and Luigi. I would have been fine if Partners in Time just got a remake. And even before Thousand Year Door dropped, Nintendo sent out different surveys to people online on both Paper Mario and Mario and Luigi, and Mario RPGs as a whole. But I tried to keep my expectations in check. But a year ago, literally just 1 year ago, it felt like Mario RPGs were something Nintendo just outright hated for some reason. Paper Mario became allergic, Mario Luigi's parents died, Mario RPG was one of its kind over 20 years ago, but today in this very moment, Nintendo has put the Mario RPGs in the best position they've ever had. We'll be getting remakes of RPG, Thousand Year Door, and a brand new Mario and Luigi within the span of 1 year. 1 year of each other. Do you guys know how crazy that sounds? This franchise was the deadest they've ever been a year ago. And I can't think of a better position, a more celebrated time, the most prosperous Mario RPGs have ever been, period. And all of this isn't even accounting Mario plus Rabbids. I don't think it's a better time to be a Mario RPG fan than right now. And besides everything, this is withstanding coming from a big Mario and Luigi fan himself, Mario and Luigi Brothership, in my opinion, is such a huge miracle of a game. It's a marvel, a wonder just like RPG, and especially Thousand Year Door, because the makers of this series were gone. Nintendo didn't disclose any sliver of a detail on whether or not they cared about Mario and Luigi for almost 4 years after the two remakes that they just put on a dying system. We had no idea what the hell Nintendo's aim was for Mario and Luigi, with their parent company gone, so anything could have happened to the series. It could have been just another franchise to lay dormant, dead in limbo for decades. Some argue it was because AlphaDream's final games were remakes of the best ones on a dying system, so part of it makes sense that that's the best they can manage before they went out like that, but no. After this, Nintendo very clearly cares about Mario and Luigi. They clearly see Mario and Luigi and Mario RPGs as a whole at least potentially a viable series to invest in, which is amazing given not even half a decade ago, it felt like they thought the exact opposite. It's just stellar the timeline we're living in, and Brothership looks phenomenal. Now the question's who's the developing team behind this game? Because of what happened to AlphaDream, did Nintendo salvage some developers from the studio? Is it an in-house Nintendo studio manning this title? Is it another second-party studio I'm just not thinking of? A third-party studio? Like, fans of the series, including me, are dying to know who's managing this new game and who's potentially going to keep making Mario and Luigi titles now. I always gotta pour one out for AlphaDream because they did bang up jobs on the whole series. I'm always going to love their work and precedent they put forth. But now we have to go forth with the idea of someone else manufacturing Mario and Luigi games now. I know for some it feels weird and wrong because of AlphaDream's departure. At the same time though, thanks in part because Nintendo sees value and worth in Mario and Luigi, the series swapping developers was probably inevitable. It's no different to me than how Hudson Soft got bought out by Konami, so Mario Party 9 onwards had to be manned by a completely different studio, unlike 1 through 8. Or how Masahiro Sakurai created Kirby, and his last involvement for a Kirby game was Air Ride, but HAL Laboratory has been manning Kirby, and doing very well for quite a while after the fact. Or conversely, Smash Bros. Being a Sakurai and HAL Laboratory series, until Smash for 3DS and Wii U, where Bandai Namco took care of a lot of it instead. I'll always miss AlphaDream for making one of my absolute favorite Mario series, but if these companies see some value in these IPs and franchises, they'll find new people to keep that series and revenue afloat, which is what we're seeing right now. And I'm fine with it largely because Mario and Luigi Brothership looks exactly how I would want a new, modern, HD Mario and Luigi to look like on consoles. For one thing, just the visuals alone. Oh my god, Mario and Luigi always had this stylized look to the Mario world and the characters. It wasn't that big of a departure of what mainline Mario looks like, but more stretched limbs and proportions on some of these characters, Luigi looking a lot lankier, Mario a little bit too, he looks a little bit skinnier, just more portly in his gut, every major Mario character having black irises and just black irises, just a more cartoony style that lends itself to more exaggerated and cartoonish expressions and creations. You see this in a lot of the box art and main art for these games all the time. And Brothership to me feels like the perfect adaptation of that exact style in a modern Mario and Luigi. The 3DS titles were still visually striking, but they still used sprite works and only 3D models for very select portions of the game, so seeing a fully 3D Mario and Luigi looks so awesome. It's got the cel-shaded look to the characters and the world, the ends of overall legs and shirts on the Mario Brothers, the back of their hats too, the way these and other parts are shaded, how gradients are used, the scope and size of these worlds and islands being very huge, way bigger than anything Mario and Luigi's done before, how cinematic the game is, and we get full-fledged cutscenes with full interactions and expressions from Mario, Luigi, and the other characters like Peach, Bowser, and more. Full squash and stretched animation being utilized, capitalizing on the series' cartooniness. Mario & Luigi Brothership is definitely taking full advantage of the fact it's our first console Mario & Luigi and trying to realize the series' style as best as it can on hardware the handhelds were limited on managing. It just looks so damn impressive. I'd never even dreamed of how a Mario & Luigi could look in full HD 3D on a console, but seeing it now, it looks phenomenal. The art style's adaptation's just pristine, the colors and vibrance overall look very appealing and adorable. It's perfect. It's literally perfect, just like Thousand Year Door Remake. It visually adapts that art style, adds a new animation. It's perfect. It's perfect. Coupled with how expressive and heavily emotive the characters are, Luigi's extremely emotive, very scared when running, chased by bees. Mario has a crazy number of reactions and expressions to everything that happens in the trailer, both bros throughout launched in the canon, very blissful in that cave looking section. Nintendo's locked in because they're making a new Mario and Luigi. But for whatever reasons, ever since the Switch, Nintendo and other studios locked in so hard on just animating Mario and the gang. Odyssey, Peach Showtime, the Mario plus Rabbids games, Luigi's Mansion 3, the Mario movie, Mario Wonder, RPG, Thousand Year Door, now Mario & Luigi Brothership. And I think Brothership low-key might be one of the most vivid and charismatic examples of this because Mario & Luigi's charm and comedy already was very reactionary, very action and emotion driven, and now that it's on Switch, it's basically just ramped up to 11. But also just the attacks, the overall animations in Brothership goes immensely hard. The game seems to be in extremely capable hands. Whoever they belong to, whoever's making this game, they're doing a good job. It's like, yeah, I miss AlphaDream, but whoever the hell's making this game, they're doing really damn good so far, so, okay. It's very funny, very charming. We're gonna see Mario and Luigi at their most characteristically demonstrative, very meaningful, very expressive. I'm all here for that. It's so adorable and very jubilant. Again, just the overall style of humor, the style of expression, artwork, art style, it all blends so beautifully. This series is the closest we have to a Mario cartoon, and this new game has so much sauce. It is really saucy. I love it. Some people were also aware this is another one of Kevin Afghani's new works as the new voice of Mario and Luigi. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even think or expect it to be Kevin watching the trailer, even when I know he is the new voice for Mario and Luigi. Probably because Luigi's Mansion 2 HD and Thousand Year Door, they still reused Charles' clips from those original games, but in the trailer, it still felt very natural to me. It pretty much felt like I was hearing Mario and Luigi's voices watching that trailer. So I definitely think Kevin's improving a lot the more he voices Mario, Luigi, and the others. Also, the fact this game was what opened the Direct. Just like last Direct, how Thousand Year Door was one last thing. Their closer for the September Direct last year. Mario and Luigi was their opener for a Nintendo Direct yesterday, and one of the clearest highlights for most Direct watchers. Nintendo clearly knows. The fact they're so confident in the two flagship Mario RPG series after so long is so cathartic, so soothing, just so validating. Like, we've been telling you guys, Nintendo and Mario fans, Mario and Luigi and Paper Mario, when it's at least half RPG for Paper Mario, they're very charming and fun Mario games with the most amount of sauce you are ever gonna find beyond mainline Mario, and I am fully confident Nintendo believes this sentiment to some degree, and we got another Mario game on Switch, as well as a new Mario and Luigi game, unlike Paper Jam, giving us brand new characters, brand new enemies, bosses, NPCs, and allies, and a new unique story, something most Mario and Luigis are known for. You just love to see it. Peach and potentially even Bowser will aid Mario and Luigi on their adventure. We might get more other characters too, hopefully Daisy. But Mario and Luigi are trying to find their way back home. They're using this grass and rocky, earthy ship to sail around. They're going to different islands throughout. Makes sense why it's called Brothership because of that, but I always felt the underlying meaning was just Mario and Luigi's brothership. I'm kind of hoping this is the game that accentuates that more than past Mario and Luigi's, which was always done very well, mind you. But I'm open for just way more brotherly bonds and antics between these two characters. I love them both. Also, I don't know if you guys have noticed, we've been getting a lot of island adventures on Switch. It's a lot like how we got on GameCube with Sunshine, Wind Waker, a little bit of Thousand Year Door, now with Animal Crossing New Horizons, Link's Awakening HD, now this game. But Mario Luigi Wind Waker, Mario Luigi One Piece is something I did not know I wanted, and now I'm getting Mario Luigi One Piece. Let's go. New locations look pretty cool too. There's this mix of an autumnal island, but it's also just like normal with a water tower in the back of it. This like open forest fieldish kind of area with a blue undertone. We got the city filled with weird TV head blocky people, the new NPCs. And I think plugs and electronics are going to be a main theme, given how the new NPCs look, and Connie and the pig who's not a pig, I forget, it's Snowlin? I think that's his name. And like some architecture and design across some of these locations gives that away too. There's also this like factory setting with some new mini bosses, a Mount Pajamaja looking area too with the lava and the ice blocks, vine-filled caves, just some solid looking new areas to explore all around. The black robe wearing specimen with the white mask and top hat near the end of the trailer, I'm willing to bet is our new main antagonist, which I'm down for, especially since this is the first Mario and Luigi where Peach isn't made a damsel. We're getting more Mario games where Peach isn't the end goal, which is great. Bowser potentially being an ally too is even more awesome. These games do Bowser justice very often, so I really want to see how they handle him, and I'm hoping we get more main series and spin-off characters in this series too. Again, I'm not getting my hopes up, but Daisy and Mario and Luigi I feel like is a little bit overdue. But very excited for the overall story of the game. Some new enemies seem to be based off artist tools, the one mouthing off full extension looks like one of those like ink pens, so there might be some artist or newspaper factory world or something like that. The places just look very interesting and vibrant, something missing from Mario and Luigi for quite a bit, and again, they're huge. The islands as well as Mario and Luigi's ship, they look massive. The fact it's on a home console makes me really think we're gonna get insanely huge scope for a Mario and Luigi game, because several shots we see the camera like really zoomed out from where the bros are. I'm hoping we get a free 3D camera, maybe a mix of both free and fixed cameras, but they're gonna show you just how big this game is, and I'm here for that, even if it's like fully fixed cameras, because that's pretty much always Mario and Luigi. We do see Luigi further away from Mario early on in this flower tower part where they're spinning upwards. I'm also really hoping, because it'd be such a massively missed opportunity if our first Mario and Luigi, not on handhelds, but on a home console with multiple controllers needed, doesn't have the ability to play the game in co-op. Mario and Luigi on a console is practically screaming and begging for co-op. I'll be shocked if it doesn't have co-op. We also got bros moves in the overworld again. Mario and Luigi can shapeshift in this helicopter ability to cross gaps, which is cool. But actually diving into the gameplay part of it all, we definitely got some puzzles in the overworld, some mini games using all 4 interface buttons instead of just 2. So it'll be a little bit interesting how far the full Joy-Con and Switch Pro controllers buttons are going to be used instead of just strictly A and B, and occasionally L and R. Given there's no extra characters so far like Bowser or Paper Mario to play as, the battle system looks just as action heavy and iconic as always. The bros attacks are the most interesting aspect thus far to me. We see several instances where Mario attacks with a jump or a hammer, and then Luigi aids with his jump and his hammer for a stronger attack in general, just like bros attacks from Superstar Saga, which I love is making a comeback, but we do see green and red shell bros attacks make a comeback too. So I'm starting to think we might get both bros attacks and item attacks, a mix of both versions across the entire series. So I'm really looking forward to how many action commands will be involved, because it was kind of intricate in Superstar Saga and then not any other Mario and Luigi afterwards. I kind of want that back here. The way Mario kicks the red shield shot looks like a shot straight out of Strikers. It looks sick, but overall, yeah, it's a Mario RPG that's very wacky and inspired. New characters and enemies, new mechanics, locations, and a new premise. Fully realized and adapted very well in 3D. Bottom line is, Nintendo listens. I don't know why it took them forever, but they definitely started listening to fans. Come to Switch. Thousand Year Door, Metroid Prime 4, Mario RPG, playable Zelda in a Zelda game, the Smash Ultimate newcomers in general. Yeah, they definitely pay attention. Mario and Luigi fans and Mario RPG fans as a whole, we're eating extremely good today. We've won again. We're getting another gem of a Mario game and Mario & Luigi game, and I'm very excited for this game to come out. It looks stellar. It's one of the holiday games. I'm really hyped. Most anticipated game of 2024. Easy. I'm really looking forward to it. Give me your thoughts on Mario & Luigi Brothership down in the comments, and I'll swing back around with a Mario RPG discussion video and more Mario and other content to come. Thank you very much for watching, and stay super.
嘿，妹妹，嘿，我来呀！共和大哈哈呀！拉面。